well. Right now, it's so unstable, and with the threat of war spread, there's a risk premium put in there on a daily basis, and foreign policy has pushed that cost of energy up. But then again, the value of the dollar is done. But paying for the foreign policy in combination with the risk that we have involved, all the criminals in the world won't put value back into the dollar. We need a sound political system, sound foreign policy, sound financial system.
Policy is crap.
The last couple of weeks I've been going forward to talk about H1 362. Something that should not be brought to the floor, it should be defeated, but rather within a couple days, if not a week, they had 220 co-sponsors. Fortunately, though, this week I was able to quote two of the sponsors of the bill who were changing their minds because we realized it is so aggressive. It is actually literally advocating a blockade of Iran. That won't help us. Now, the best way to get others to realize the danger of this, and I brought this up in the committee as well as on the House floor, consider what it would be like if a foreign country, a strong government came and they were powerful enough to impose on us a restriction that we couldn't import petroleum products. That they would control all ships, boats, planes, and trains and trucks coming into our country and all control the people. Now, what would we as Americans do? I bet we'd be unified if we want to do something about it. That's exactly what we're doing, and that's exactly what we're threatening. At the same time, we're pretending that our policy is supposed to be undermining Ahmadinejad in Iran. Well, I'll tell you what, if somebody comes and threatens us, I mean, we get unified. Just think after 9/11, we weren't fighting on ourselves because we saw us being threatened, and it brings people together. So the dissidents in Iran right now are being hurt, and Ahmadinejad is being killed. Now, sometimes I wonder if it is deliberate, so that we always have an enemy out there that we have to keep the military-industrial complex going. It's either that, or they're just, not very smart. Sometimes they can be a little bit of both. But, we do have the answers. We have the answers. People have responded well to this message. Much stronger than I ever believed. And the magnificent thing over the past year and a half has been the rallies, the people coming together. Because what I have found, and I see it all the time, is the message of liberty and the Constitution, it brings us together regardless of our personal beliefs. If you know and understand what the First Amendment is all about, what freedom is all about, we can take a problem like this, and what your personal religious beliefs are not relevant. They're relevant to you and to your family, your children, and all. That's very important in what you do in your community. But in a free society, it's really not relevant. What we have to do is agree that we have freedom of choice in social behavior. That's what we need. And of course, there are a certain group in Congress that's a little bit better on protecting values than others. But unfortunately, they're the same ones who think you don't have a right to spend your own money. Now, our conclusion is, and the freedom message is, in a free society, you have the right to run your own life, you have the right to earn as much money as you want, you have the right to spend it any way you want. But along with this, if you practice bad behavior and hurt yourself, you can't come crawling to the government to go to your neighbor and bail you out. If you don't take care of yourself and take care of your retirement and your medical needs, you can't go to your neighbor and send the government there to bail you out. Freedom really works, and it is popular. But unfortunately, what we're facing is that we have become a nation that has lost confidence, and I think what we're seeing here, occurring here in the last year or so, is our confidence is coming back. Confidence that freedom does work, and that we don't have to depend on the government to bring the grave. It's obvious the foreign policy is a failure. It's obvious that the Federal Reserve System is a failure. It's obvious that we shouldn't even have the IRS and the taxes that we have. And if you look at the entitlement system, that's a total failure. The only gap there, the elderly now, who have paid into the system, are starting to receive. They have an inflation rate of 10 or 12%, and they get increases in their benefits, maybe 2%. So they're losing. No wonder they feel like there's a recession going on. So if and salaries and these conditions never keep up. So people are in a recession, and this country is, and it's very, very serious because not so much because we will be living beneath our means, but ultimately it means that our freedoms will be threatened. And I think that is what's happening today. When a country lives beyond its means, it has to live beneath its means. There is a payback. But if we did the right things, if we restored freedom, restored sound money, and went back to work, believe me, it wouldn't take long. We would be back on our feet in no time. But the attitude that we have perpetual bailouts, as they propose this week, we're going to make ourselves, the government's going to make us safer by passing FISA so they can spy on us entirely. And then they go and pass $300 million, which is just a partial payment, trying to bail out the housing market. That won't work. They don't have the money. Writing checks and sending checks out to people, they spend money and stimulate the economy. That won't work either. No. What will work, though, is just looking to our guidelines, looking to the rule of law, and get individual men and women of character up here that will stand on principle and vote only for the Constitution. Disturbing things that occurred in the campaign, and this didn't happen, on occasion in the debates. There was one particular debate out in Iowa, held by the taxpayers and also a Christian group. And I have rather strong identification with both, but I was excluded. And we did have a rally next door that was bigger than their rally, so we did all right. But I have come to the conclusion that there were some evangelicals that would not endorse the foreign policy of non-intervention. It was very disturbing to me to confront in an intellectual and political way to take the position that it is my understanding of Christianity and what Jesus taught that we were never to go in the name of Jesus to start wars. Despite the fact that my own district, people get to know me, I reach out because of the right to life position, the homeschooling position, and because homeschoolers know about the Constitution, I do quite well. But nationally speaking, this became a bit of a problem. So I was very, very grateful when Chuck Baldwin went to work because he had the credentials where he could go out and talk to evangelicals and explain the constitutional pro-American, pro-liberty position that we don't have to endorse preemptive war. Freedom, about 100 years ago or so, was divided into pieces. It was divided into personal liberty and economic liberty. Our job as freedom fighters now is to bring that concept back together. Freedom isn't anything more than individual. We get our